How dare you, Kelly, say that I'm late? Uh, Kick is blowing up over there. Hi, everybody. It was great seeing everybody at Mountain Readiness to Fallout. So, welcome everybody to the Eden Army podcast. I'm your host tonight, Pete Robertucci. We do this little podcast every Thursday night around 8 p.m. or so. We're back in the free state of Florida for a few weeks, and then we're off to CanCon, where I'll be peddling my wares and potentially teaching a defensive pistol class. I haven't gotten the logistics worked out for all of that kind of stuff yet, but some of my stuff got kind of, if I'm too loud, if I'm too soft, you guys tell me, please, because all my stuff got jostled in the move. So just give me some input there on how we're sounding, how we're looking. And let's see. Patrick 7, I don't know. It appears to be on your end. But look, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That helps us get the word out. And I'd like to thank Terry, Fireman Ed, Meta, Joe Niermeyer, Dan, and VCFP for your resubscription. That keeps the lights on and makes all this stuff worthwhile. Boy, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to Fallout. Some of the shenanigans that went on there. What a good time, especially in regards to Patrick 7. We're going to talk about him a little bit, but we'll leave that for when the crew gets on gets on the screen. Let's talk about some news tonight. We're going to be talking about Hamas and the Israeli ceasefire, the Schumer shutdown, the White House getting a new look. And Trump tells us why he just doesn't declare war with the narco terrorists. Also, who is Mandami running for the New York mayoral seat? But there is a couple of things, guys, that I want to do first before we get started. As you are aware, we teamed up with Miss Millie Copper to produce the audible version of Wyoming Falls. Now, that doesn't take place in the Eden world. That actually takes place in the October Falls world that's run by Boyd Craven and those guys, but they didn't have it out on Audible. So she was nice enough to give us those three books, Eden Army Productions, to produce those books. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3 of that. 1's already out. 2 and 3 will be coming soon. So let's make sure we pick those up on Audible, and we'll have a QR code that goes up here in a little bit where you guys can go ahead and knock that out. Also, yesterday, from my end, I submitted Battlefield Birchwood to Audible, so that's under review by them, and it should be out within a week or two. Matthew did an amazing job on this one, so I'm sure you guys are going to love it. But I'll just watch the socials and stuff like that because I'll tell you when those actually go live. Another thing that we did while we were at, and she's probably going to kill me for this. I'm sorry, Miss Terry, but Miss Terry and myself had an idea on how we can bring the Eden world to children. And since that she's doing that thing with her coloring books and stuff like that, I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek at some of the things that we're looking at. Now, this is unedited. Sorry, Miss Terry, but it's happening. So we are doing some of this stuff here. Let me get this so I can scroll it somehow, some way. Where is that at? There she is. There she is. So as you can see, if you've read the books and stuff like that, you know exactly what you're looking at and some of the things that take place within the book here. Now, this is unedited, but she did an amazing job. And if you know, you know with this kind of stuff. But the one thing I'm going to do, Miss Terry, and I haven't even told you this yet, we're going to put a Bible verse on the bottom of each of that because we're going to be talking to kids. I want to talk to them in the right fashion. So we're gonna find some Bible verses that fit these pictures, and we're going to plug those in there. So anyway, long and short, I hope you guys dig that. I think it'll be kind of neat. I don't know. You tell me what you guys think. Let me get rid of this, Russ. And boom. What do you guys think of that? Will loves it, he says, over there on YouTube. So that's awesome. Caleb, good catching up with her. We could probably find some awesome Bible verses. I agree, Patrick. But we are going to look at that and get that out. So that should be on our table by Mountain Readiness anyway. So, guys, we haven't done this in a little bit. We're going to take a quick, FAFO moment. You fucker! You laughed, you mocked, you shut us down. Call us names, tried to run us out. You pushed too hard, took too much. Now you're the ones who've lost their touch. You rigged the game, you changed the rules. Gaslit the world, played us for fools. But tides have turned, the storm is near. Cry all you want, we're still here. Faithful, fuck around and find out. You tried to rule, but your time ran out. Faithful, the silent won't stay quiet now. We're taking back what you burned to the ground. Censorship, lockdowns, all your control. Built your throne on a house of gold. Now you panic, now you cry. Tears don't work, truth don't lie. The games are done, the mask fell off. No more lies, we've had enough. You played with fire, now taste the flame. This time, we're naming names. Faithful, fuck around and find out. You tried to rule, but your time ran out. Faithful, the silent won't stay quiet now. We're taking back what you burned to the ground. You called us threats, you called us extreme, but we remember everything. From 24 and beyond, take your bets, 'cause guess what? We ain't done yet. Faithful, fuck around and find out. Your kingdom's crumbled, your luck ran out. Faithful, no more games, no more doubts. You lit the fire, now it's burning you down. Oh, y'all didn't know I was playing the bass on all that. Where did you? Welcome, Russ and Paulie.
Howdy,
Man,
howdy.
what a kick-ass way to start the show. I love that.
This is, guys, I know I do too. This is my first beverage in Florida. I know you can find that hard to believe, but it's been a couple of days. Very first beverage. Russ, how are you doing up there in North Carolina? Russ is still in North Carolina. What's going on up there, brother?
Yeah. Man, it's pleasant weather. The high was about 71 today. Low tonight is supposed to be in the 50s. We've just been relaxing, working on book 2 a little bit here or there. Got a car show this weekend. I'm going to go look at some classic cars over here on site, so we don't have very far to go. But other than that, man, we're just chilling, waiting on CanCon. It's going to be over there.
Yeah, it will be a good time. So I got to make sure I get my logistics squared away with you on that. Paul, what about you? Let's hear it. Let's hear the no show. We're putting him up. Let's everybody face him. Everybody look at his face.
I mean,
Wow.
No show, no call. Give it to him.
I mean, if you're scared, say you're scared.
I'm not scared. I'm going through it this past week or so. But it's nothing I can complain about. It's part of life.
It is what it is. That's what they say. Well, we missed you.
It is
Maybe
what
we'll
it
make
is.
it to the next one. Who knows?
Well,
But next time, text me and tell me you're not coming. That's twice. Douche nozzle. Let's not do that again. Yeah, cool. So,
well,
yeah, it was.
speaking of people that either no showed or showed, do we know if Patrick's even going to come back?
Oh, look, Patrick. Like, I don't want to put Patrick's dirty laundry out there or anything, but what happens when you hang out with guys that have gray beards and shit like this, and you think that you're gonna hang with them, you get a rude awakening on the very first night. And now, in
And
his defense, Russ, in his defense, Jason did the typical what Jason does, and he acts like he's
speaking of the
hanging with
devil,
yeah, he acts like he's hanging with the big boys, but he's really pawning his
hmm
drink off to, in this case, it was Patrick Seven. So,
yeah,
but Patrick was down for the count. I think he slept for 20
he,
hours straight.
yeah, he lost a whole day up
He
there.
lost a whole day. But I tell you, when he finally did bounce back, he came back with a vengeance. So he did really good. Um, Yeah. And let's talk about something else because that kind of reminds me what Patrick just said here. I'll pop it up on the screen right here. Uh, yeah. So let's also give a shout out to Mr. Tom Bryce, who basically kept
Absolutely.
the entire tribe fed for 3 days. Now, Tom rolled in with his 48-foot diesel pusher, and he basically brought steaks and all kinds of food. But most importantly, he brought Woodford double oak, and we and
I'm
Patrick got
scarred
his.
for life now.
Patrick figured out that that's good stuff, but you can't mix it with stuff. Patrick, listen to me. And the Dorns bought like 247 Jello shots,
Yep.
which was another thing that got Patrick put in his tent for 20 hours. Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Bryce. We appreciate everything you did for the
Yeah.
tribe over there, and I mean, hell, you're a member of the tribe also, I see. So you're good to go, brother. So Paul, anything you want to anything we can help you with, or you got it all squared away?
Got it squared away.
Okay, good. Yeah, Chrissy says Tom and his wife are amazing. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep. But
they are currently on their way home. They are still in Nashville. They decided they're going to hang out there until like Saturday or Sunday. He was texting with me last night as he was bouncing from bar to bar on his way home. He said it was only about 20 bars between where they were at and where he was going. So he says we created a monster. So
yeah, Fib, you did. You did definitely create the monster, but that didn't take much pushing on his end, though. The guy walked off with 35 knives, I think. And but anyway, Mr. Bryce is good people. His wife Kathy was amazing to us. So I was recruited to do a little bit of grilling, but let's see what Will Gomez. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, awesome. Let me pop that up real quick. So yeah, you missed a lot, brother. You missed. I'm a little rusty, guys. I'll be honest with you. I did not plan as much as I do for this podcast. I did pull a little bit, and I did watch a little bit of news, but I was trying to get my straight. You know what happens, Russ? When you leave your house for 5 months in the South Florida area, the nature just takes over. It takes over everything.
oh yeah.
I'm probably 3 or 4 days just cutting grass.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the same way. Not to mention having to do with water leak. I mean, I asked my son, I said, it didn't get cold there. And he goes, oh, well, it got in the 50s. I said, son, that's not cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
No.
So, guys, I didn't have much time to go over the agenda with you because, hell, I didn't know what the agenda was. So I'll just go ahead and get on
We'll
with
just wing it.
Yeah, it appears that during my drunken stupor through Fallout, the government remained shut down, and what I don't really understand is how the Democrats can blame the GOP for it when they propose a clean CR. When a clean CR means no additional spending, no additional debt incurred, and no cuts. Is clean, 100% clean. Now, the reason that they're upset is because when the Dems put the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, into place, for some weird reason way back then, they put the expiration date of 2025. So what they want to do is get those ACA policies back in to the new budget, but they're the ones that set them up to expire. So the GOP now is saying, look, bring the government back and we can negotiate this the way we're supposed to. But what does the Dems actually, what's their motive actually behind it, this entire shutdown?
Throughout this shutdown, Democrats have said this quiet part out loud. Senator Chuck Schumer, the leader of the caucus that is refusing to open the government, said, quote, "Every day gets better as the shutdown continues." Ask the air traffic controllers if every day is getting better, Senator Schumer, and they will tell you absolutely not. House Democrat Catherine Clark said, "There are going to be families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility seriously, but this is one of the few leverage points that we have." Here is a House Democrat who is admitting that they are using Americans who are suffering as political leverage. And Senator Bernie Sanders said, "If you reopen the government, we lose our leverage." This is pure partisan games. A senior Democrat aide said the party will not end the shutdown, quote, "short of planes falling out of the sky." That is truly a disturbing statement. The Democrats clearly don't care about this suffering. They care about playing political games against President Trump, and this dangerous charade needs to end. The president, in Republicans' position, has been clear and unchanged. Pass a clean, nonpartisan funding bill to reopen the government.
So there you go. So they're basically telling you their game plan because they're so stupid. They just go ahead and spit it out anyway. They can't contain themselves. They're using this shutdown as leverage now to bring the ACA policies back online that they originally put an expiration date on. Russ, what's your take on this?
Their approval rating is just almost zero now. And who is it over there in chat? Patrick said, guarantee you they'll reopen it before food stamps go offline. If they don't, then they're done. Absolutely 100% done. Because if you follow some of the stuff on X and different other news sources, these people are complaining. I have to do community service in order to get my food stamps, and then I got to get a job in order. It's assistance. It's not. It's supposed to be government assistance, not total all the thing.
Yeah, and I think, there was some talk about this No Kings Day. They were going to wait until after the No Kings BS, which was a flop, by the way, regardless of what MSNBC tries to give you video from 20 years ago of a real rally. The new No Kings thing was a flop. So the talk was they were originally going to open it up after that so they didn't piss off their base. Anyway, Paul, what do you think? Do you think that this thing's going to open up for SNAP benefits go into place?
Oh, it absolutely has to. What really struck me was the verbiage that they used of anything short of planes falling out of the sky. We're supposed to be a sensitive world now. We're supposed to watch how we phrase things, and I think that's an insane turn of phrase to use. But yeah. I think it'll be up before SNAP goes offline.
I think it has to be, because I think the overwhelming majority of the people realize that this is a Schumer shutdown. This is a Democratic shutdown. If you just look, and we talked about it the last time I was on the air, if you look at the GOP people that actually voted to keep the government open as opposed to the Democrats who voted to keep it closed, it's overwhelming, right? It's almost all except for one GOP senator.
Mm-hmm.
So, look.
Well, and and Trump even said, yeah, that's Rand Paul. He always votes no, and he kind of joked about it. But there are more and more they're trickling in. I think the last number I heard was 55 votes now. So they're getting close to the 60 because there are people that are starting to cross the line,
Well,
and they'll eventually cross.
I'm not affected by it, and I don't know how closed or shut down the government could be because they're still taking taxes out every week. So I'm not sure how closed they really could be. They're doing press briefings every day in the White House. So now I understand there's some people that aren't going to be getting paid. Well, call your senators up, call your Democratic senators up, and tell them to get off of their ass because it's their shutdown. Let's see here what Mama Teresa says here. We're expecting to be ramming through single payer healthcare. They want to. They're not really introducing new policies. What they want to do is continue the ADA policy, the American Affordable Care Act policies that they had prior that are set to expire at the end of this year. So we'll see. I think that. I think the Democrats are screwing the pooch on this one, but you know how I feel about that. Keep it closed. Yeah, they are. And Rand Paul will always vote on a budget, nay, unless it's a balanced budget. That's going to happen. That's a give me. They're not really going to stop paying the Democrats. They're gonna keep paying. They're going to get their paycheck. I promise. Hey, Mom, Tooch. She had a good time up there in North Carolina also. So that's what I have to say about the shutdown. Javi is in the house also. The other thing that the builder in chief, Russ, the builder in chief is back at it again, and the Dems are losing their mind. They're saying, I can't believe with the government shut down, this guy's breaking up the White House, destroying the White House. That's more important to him. These funds should be used somewhere. They're not taxpayer funds, folks. Not taxpayer funds at all. These are donated funds, and these are funds coming out of his pocket. So you're not going to use that as a talking point. But they had this to say a little bit about this at the White House briefing the other day.
President Trump is breaking ground on the White House Grand Ballroom this week. There's been a steady flow of criticism, though, for all the renovations. Our senior White House correspondent, Peter Ducey, is reporting live from the North Lawn with all of that. Hi, Peter.
And Aisha, the funny part about this is we didn't hear much about preserving the actual facade of the East Wing until, of course, the walls started coming down. And now a quick sampling of some of the reaction from the left. Hillary Clinton says it's not his house, it's your house, and he's destroying it. Gavin Newsom writes, ripping apart the White House just like he's ripping apart the Constitution. And then on the floor of the Senate, Chuck Schumer offered this.
What's galling is Republicans being okay with people like Kristi Noem getting a private jet, Donald Trump getting a fancy, expensive new ballroom, Argentina getting a $40 billion bailout, but then saying Americans don't deserve cheaper health care. That is what's galling.
But the White House Communications Director Stephen Chung writes, construction has always been a part of the evolution of the White House. Losers who are quick to criticize need to stop their pearl clutching and understand that building needs to be modernized. Otherwise, you'd just be living in the past. His counterpart, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, says this.
If you talk to journalists who have covered the White House for decades, as I do here every single day, they will also tell you that administration after administration have publicly and privately spoken about the need for a larger event space. So while many presidents have privately dreamt about this, it's President Trump who is actually doing something about it. And he is the builder in chief.
And it's worth pointing out that the Democrats who are criticizing this ballroom project that is privately funded can use the ballroom themselves. All Democrats have to do is win the White House. Aisha?
All they have to do is win the White House. Did you see and this is what Patrick's alluding to here, did you see the tweets that were going back against Hillary Clinton?
Oh, she got absolutely cooked on Twitter. Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, the one person I saw that's making the rounds is it says she goes on to say it's your house, not, and then the one guy retweets it back with a quote and says, "Didn't your husband have sex in the Oval Office? I think you should sit this one out, sweetheart."
Well, that and the fact that they stole so much stuff when they left the White House.
I saw that one too. It said you stole $28,000 worth of furniture and had to return it.
Not to mention, Obama used 320 some odd thousand million dollars of taxpayer money to remodel the White House.
Yeah, and not to mention, Obama ripped down a courtyard and put a basketball court in, and there was
Mhm.
crickets from the Democrats. Shut up. I would think the majority of Americans can see through this facade now. I think they're getting
Mhm.
it. I think they got it with this whole wokeism stuff. I think that's going away by the wayside in rapid succession, and I think they're seeing through the Democrats. And this is the problem. Um, this is why Mandami over, and we're going to talk about him here in a little bit. That's why he is making such a big move right now, and people like him because now they're changing their policies and changing their ideology to go even further left, and it's an interesting time. So, Paul, what do you think? Waste of money for the ballroom?
I mean, it's not taxpayer money. That's like saying it's a waste of money for you to build another building on your property. It's
Well,
his
I
house
would,
for the it's
yeah,
his house for the next 3 years and 3 months.
and then it's
Mhm.
going to be JD's, so they'll
Yep.
get a lot of use out of it. Let's see. I'm gonna look, just looking through chat here to see what we missed,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, Kelly. Every president does some type of modification. This is
Oh,
the one
absolutely.
modification that's not costing the taxpayers any money, though.
Well, and it's not like they tore down the entire East Wing. Did you see the overview of that? The picture of it? They tore down a small section, probably, I'm thinking 15, 20 foot wide. It looked like an addition that had already been put on. They tore that part down and they're adding to it.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
mean,
look.
and it's not costing us anything.
Look. Have you ever been to the White House, Paul? Have you ever been to the White House?
No.
I was not impressed walking through the White House. I was not impressed with all of it. You see it on TV and you think it's this big grand structure. It's really not. And Trump even made fun of it when he was first elected, the first go around. He goes, he's basically like slumming it now compared to Mar-a-Lago and shit like that, right? So it's just not, yeah, bullshit. God, how lucky were we to have bullshit over there in Mountain Readiness? He helped out Tom and a number of us with our RVs, so we appreciate you, bullshit. And I wish I got some pictures of you holding up your baby gift. Maybe we'll throw some pictures up if I find it next week. Let's see what else. Tiny section. Yeah, it was a perfect spot, Julie, to do an addition onto. Patrick Seven says, Pete, it's funny because for years, foreign dignitaries have been talking trash about the White House events having to be tense and sometimes in bad weather. Exactly. And these are people that were, I mean, high level deals are being done. Well, who knows, backroom deals. Patrick, you also did mention that Schumer earlier on the shutdown was trying to do like a closed door shade meeting with the president. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's because they're trying to save face and trying to work behind the scenes. Look, the representatives already passed the clean CR. Now it's up to the senators. All right, get your shit together and pass it. And maybe there's a time now that we need to just go to a majority vote in Senate as opposed to a
With
60 40.
2/3.
I don't know, something to think about. Bullshit is a quality tribe member. I agree with you guys. Uh,
Absolutely.
oh, Chrissy, I had a thought. Was Tiny calling everyone ATF? No, she wasn't calling everybody ATF, and I had to have a little chat with Tiny because she likes to talk some smack to get me into fights, apparently, because she knows I'll stick up for her little ass.
Yeah.
So she had to basically. Oh, look, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah,
I know which one you're talking about.
Patrick got censored again. Can't write that, Patrick. Let me see. No, I wrote it. I didn't get censored for that. I get censored for this, maybe. Oh, you can say, yeah, you can't say fag though. Gotcha. Okay. Yes, exactly, Christy. She was calling everybody. As a matter of fact, when she got done picking on Patrick, this behemoth of a man that we all know, that was on one of the seasons of Alone walks in. The guy probably has 15 knives strapped to him. He's 7'5", weighs about 240 pounds of all muscle. And she goes, "Who's this giant gay guy?" And I was like, "Good God, woman, stop it. You're going to get me killed." But it was a good time, and everyone had fun with it. And I
Oh,
think
yeah, we had a blast.
The
We had a
band,
blast.
that night was amazing, by the way.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
And I don't
they
know.
will be back.
Good. And for those of you that weren't there, there was also a Renaissance Carnival Festival thing going there, and I had fun with those people. I had a blast with those people when they came walking through.
So, did you hear about T's conversation with Casey about why the band played where they did?
Yeah, because of them, and he basically just said,
They've been here for 2 weeks. Fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, goodness gracious. So that was
It was a good time.
that was our Patrick. The last night I was there, Patrick, it was a little cold out. Patrick bunked up with me in the rolling condo. So that was a good time. I got to hear, if you ever get a chance at CanCon or whenever to talk to Patrick in his younger life, I would highly recommend you do that, because while I was playing the GI Joe with GI Joes, he was off seeing the country in a unique fashion. Let me just say that. Yeah, some of us got kicked out of Ren Fair. I didn't. Some of us did get kicked out of that. Will says it was nice to see me dancing with baby girl. Yeah, that was good. Diana was there. We got to meet Diana for the first time.
We did.
That was kind of cool. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
Well, Diana, it was a little cold for North Carolina. It was a lot of cold for someone that lives in Arizona. Poor Diana looked like the Michelin Man. She was so bundled up every night.
Let's see what else. So the ceasefire with Israel. Let's talk about international shit for a minute. The ceasefire with Israel and Hamas was short-lived, because immediately when Hamas came into power again inside of Gaza, first of all, they began executing people they thought that were cooperating with the Jewish people, and then they decided, they decided this.
Israel-Hamas ceasefire is still in effect despite terrorists attacking and killing 2 Israeli soldiers yesterday morning, followed by the IDF launching retaliatory strikes. The Israeli army announcing on X, quote, "The IDF will continue to uphold the ceasefire agreement and will respond firmly to any violation of it." This as President Trump's chief Middle East negotiator, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner spoke out for the first time since getting the Gaza ceasefire, and they offered insight into the return of the remaining hostages held by Hamas.
One worrisome issue, whether Hamas is dragging its feet in returning the remains of deceased Israeli hostages.
Are you saying publicly right now that Hamas is acting in good faith, seriously looking for the bodies?
As far as we've seen from what's being conveyed to us from the mediators, they are so far. That could break down at any minute, but right now we have seen them looking to honor their agreement.
National security and military analyst Dr. Rebecca Grant joins me now. Dr. Grant, good morning. It's great to see you. Let's start with that 60 Minutes interview, because there was a lot in it. What was your main takeaway from what they had to say?
What an incredibly powerful team. And Trump has picked 2 fantastic negotiators. They said at the end that it's very delicate and they're really going to have to stay on top of the situation, which is why we have both Witkoff and Kushner back in the Middle East today. I was struck that they had met in person with the 4 Hamas negotiators, and how much that Israeli strike on Doha in Qatar had been a turning point where they seized the opportunity to get the Arab world aligned to pressure Hamas and then bring Israel on board. Stunning interview.
Yeah, and over the weekend, the ceasefire deal came very close to falling apart, with Hamas launching a deadly strike that killed 2 IDF soldiers, and then Israel launching a series of retaliatory strikes. And then, as you said, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are back in Israel this morning, and the White House is considering sending Vice President J.D. Vance as well. So taken as a whole, what does all of...
All right, I can't take it anymore. So look, this is what happens when you negotiate with terrorists, right? These people they're savages. They're not going to do what they sign up for, and the fact that anyone's even negotiating with them blows my mind. We talked about in my monologue 2 weeks ago the Palestinian people and stuff like that. So, like it or not, the Palestinian people are never, and I call them Hamas, Palestinian people. I don't care what you call them. All I know is the entire Palestinian people were cheering 9/11 and October 7th. So I don't distinguish between the two. And that's my personal opinion. Don't care what anybody else thinks. They can suck it. Joe Niermeier's in the house. Joe, good to see you, brother. Thank you for the subscription. We appreciate that. So anyway, what do you think? Did you really think that Hamas, or Russ, do you really think Hamas was going to do what they said they were going to do?
No, not even a little bit. No, I mean, listening and reading to from Hamas over the years, and frozen up again. No, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Don't think it'll ever happen.
Agreed. Paul, what do you think? Politically correct, Paul?
I thought it was a pointless back and forth with Hamas. They weren't gonna back what they agreed to.
Yeah, and the fact that now, and here's the thing about giving the remains of the hostages back, they are going to hold that for leverage, absolutely. But here's the other thing: Israel's not done. If you look at what happened after Entebbe and after the Olympic massacre, they will get revenge. They will sooner or later. It may be 20 years from now, but every single person responsible, every leader responsible for the October 7th attacks will end up in the ground, and I promise you that. And as it should be. Koala says she liked to see the leaves changing colors. Correct. Kelly, terrorist lie. Imagine that. That's weird. Let's see. Patrick 7 says, I was reading that Hamas was pressured. They handed over a little trunk full of body parts. None of them were missing. Yeah, and I don't know if that was this case, but they did that during the first go around, and they actually found that the DNA didn't match any of the hostages. So I don't know if that happened during this particular case or not. Let's see. I was also reading that the UN and other countries are willing to go in and escort Hamas into the rubble. The bodies, Israel said it was a deal breaker. Agreed. Now, there's supposed to be, I cut that video off, but there is supposed to be a multi country coalition that's going to set a new PLO, Palestinian Authority type government into place. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Gaza will turn into a civil war, and it'll be what it is. They aren't human to begin with, and if you will not affirm to their superiority, they want you dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. Their whole doctrine, and they'll tell you first they want to do away with Israel, then they want to do away with the United States, and of course they're already running through Europe. Did you guys see? I don't have this on my notes, but did you guys see they actually picked up an October 7th terrorist here in the United States, someone who conducted the operation in Israel? They picked him up inside of the United States. Came through the open border that the Biden administration had in place for all of those years. And that's just one. How many more are there? Now, the CIA Sarah thing is making a little bit of sense right now, right? So,
absolutely.
Oh, goodness gracious. Let's talk about, well, I mentioned this. Let's just get eaten up from within and talk about how the socialist guys are taking over the Democratic Party. And here's the thing, the old school Democrats, they can't do anything about it. They can't. They will all get primaried if they fight against this. The AOCs of the world, the Mandamis of the world, the Talibs of the world. They're screwed. But let's see exactly who Mr. Mandami is, who's running for the mayoral race in New York City.
I'm a democratic socialist. I actually created a playlist for Mira, who also happens to be my mother. Nepotism and hard work goes a long way. We need our internet because we have all of our kids staying at home doing remote learning. And if you don't have internet, you can't be taught, you can't learn. I was supposed to assist the music supervisor, but I ended up picking all the songs for the film. City Hall is engulfed in corruption. A mayor could change this, and that's why I'm running.
Apparently, you are a rapper too.
I happen to be a rapper. I am a rapper proper.
If there's any question who this guy is, first, it's in the Islamic doctrine. First of all, you invade a country, you assimilate. Once you have the numbers, you take over. You can see that just based on his dialect, depending upon who is interviewing him. What do you think, Russ?
Oh, absolutely. He's pulling a Jasmine McCracken. I mean, I think I got the right person right. He's playing to his audience. He can be very eloquently spoken, and then if he needs to, he can kick back in his Arabic accent at will. And I hope people understand that it is just nothing but smoke and mirrors for him, and they don't elect him. But unfortunately, I think New York City is too far gone.
Yeah, I think he's leading substantially in the polls, and just like Jeff said over here, he pretty much did get destroyed in the debate, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think the New Yorkers are just so stupid right now that they're gonna elect this guy, and then they're gonna see what goes along with it. He wants $30 an hour minimum wage. You understand what that would do to small business? The guy that owns the pizza shop down the road, the guy that owns the deli down the road. I agree with you, Kelly. Idiot New Yorkers. Paul, what do you think? Do you think this guy's got a chance? What is he? Is he a wolf in sheep's clothing?
So I think he's going to get elected because, like she said, idiot New Yorkers. They want to change, and he's appealing to the younger generation there, and do I agree with his message? No. I mean, his tactics. He's using the right tactics if he wants to get himself elected. Yeah, I think he's going to end up in there. It's not going to be good, but $30 an hour minimum wage is insane.
Yeah, well, just to think, I mean, first of all, if you need $30 an hour minimum wage to live at a poverty level, then there are other policies within your state that's problematic, right? They're spending way too much. But let's see. We'll see what happens. I suspect that and like Jason just said, what you're going to see is if he does take office, you're going to see an influx of New Yorkers leaving, and it'll only take all the big businesses to leave like they did in California, right? And then they're going to start seeing a little bit of difference. But bring them all. And yeah, K-Love, he also did mention he wouldn't say it, but he said he wants to bring international laws to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if he ever comes to New York, which that's where the UN headquarters is. So of course he's going to eventually go to New York. Interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Northeast, the only good thing in the Northeast right now is Pepe's Pizza right now and K-Love. That's the only thing. You can have all the rest of it. Give us Pepe's Pizza.
Larry Dial's up there. Larry Dial's up there as well.
Where's he? Oh, he's in
Jersey. He's in Jersey.
Oh, okay, well, we want Larry too, so we'll trade you. Yeah. Pepe's Pizza, K-Love, Larry from Mondavi. That's it. I think we're getting the better end of that deal by far. And you're right, Madman, or our main Jeff. He'll try to get Sharia law. It's going to happen. Yeah. Okay. So that's my take on all of that. Do I think he's going to win? Probably. He probably will, and we'll see what happens. Let me check my pinned messages up here. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Assimilate.
Right. Jeff is up there.
Yep. Patrick Seven says, as far as he's concerned, the best thing to know. Okay. What else we got? Yeah, we're good to go there. Okay.
Yep. I don't disagree with you, Jeff. The most of New York is red. The problem is New York soaks.
Yeah, just like Wisconsin, right, Russ? I mean, you're looking at Madison, Milwaukee, and potentially Green Bay. The entire rest of the state is red, but that's where the urban area, that's where the population is set. So, and I suspect Minnesota is probably the same damn way. So.
Oh yeah, Minnesota's the same way. The same way.
Yeah. Population density counts. That's true, Rev. But forget about Mandami. I don't care about him anymore. I'm done. Take it. Take New York. Have at it. What I'm more concerned with is President Trump and what he blew up his 8th narco terrorist boat. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. And the way the White House described it was they were suspecting. They really should watch how they say stuff. They say he blew up a suspected narco terrorist boat. Don't say suspected. Just say they're a narco terrorist boat. He blew them out of nowhere, and that's it. But they were also wondering why. Like, look, you've already claimed these cartels are terrorists. Why not just call for a full-out war against these cartels? And this is what I voted for right here. This is what Trump had to say.
And Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
That, sir, that is what I voted for, right? Look, we're gonna kill them.
That is my president. We're just gonna kill people.
We don't need to declare war. We've labeled you terrorists, and we're just gonna kill you. I mean, dead. Jose's in the house. Good to see you, brother. We need to get together while I'm in town and discuss a few things. Good.
So I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question, and this is more international news. Does anybody else, and I'm going to pick at somebody, does anybody else find it odd that the Louvre got robbed in broad daylight while Javi was there?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when that happened. So Javi went to France, and he was actually in line to go into the museum there. The next person in line, allegedly, and the robbery took place. So, look, I'm not saying he did it, but I'm saying, might be on a no-fly list back to France. Just saying. And no, I don't want to buy any diamonds, Javi. So stop trying to sell me diamonds.
Javi, I know a guy.
That's with Javi.
Oh, good stuff. Jeff says it's an unconstitutional act. No, you labeled them a domestic terrorist organization. He doesn't need to declare war on them. He can unilaterally strike them and give Congress notice up to so many days after he made the strike. But if he were to declare war on them, we talked about this a long time ago. If he were to declare war, then that would have to go through the constitutional process and go through Congress. So that's it.
And
that's pretty cut and dry. That's pretty cut and dry. Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no mean a scholar on the Constitution. To declare war, you have to declare war on a country, yes, not a organization.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we declared war on ISIS, right? We declared war on Al Qaeda, but we attacked Afghanistan to go through Al Qaeda. So, anyway, but I appreciate Jeff's staunch opinion on that. But in my opinion, it's pretty cut and dry. But again, I'm no constitutional scholar either. I just read. But that's it. That's all the news that I have. You guys got. Oh, the other thing I do want to add, guys, that I did not put on the agenda, and I don't know why this isn't getting more headlines. You talk about the genocide, right? The genocide that's happening in Gaza, but everyone's failing to talk about the actual genocide that's going on in Nigeria. Everyone's failing to talk about that. The hundreds of thousands of Christians that are being murdered every day in Nigeria. No one's talking about that, right? Why? Because they're Christians, more than likely. I don't know the answer to that, but that's on my radar, as well as the tens of thousands of farmers, white farmers, that are being murdered in South Africa, right? But that's not a genocide. Those two instances, guys, are actual genocide. They're actual genocide. And Democrats can't get their heads out of their ass to actually wrap their heads around what's really going on, because maybe it's not as popular. I don't know. Yeah, that's 100%, Larry. That's because there are Christians being slaughtered. And we know that the Democrats are anti-Christian, they're anti-white, they're anti-everything else that keeps this country good. So I don't know what to tell you. But those are the two genocides that are actually happening that the Democrats are not talking about. It's crickets right now. It's crickets on the news feed. So I don't know. Have you followed any of that, Russ?
I really haven't. Man, since I've been up here, I haven't touched social media hardly at all, or any kind of news. I've been a little on the busy side. But the one thing I did see, and I cannot remember this representative's name, that came out and said, I'm from the ghetto. And if you slap me in the face, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you in the neck. And I can't remember. Basically, calling for violence against the right.
Yeah, and that's
a government rep.
Yeah, it's an elective representative that said that, and that's what they do, right? When they don't have actual policy, they do things like the No Kings rally protest, they call it. They do things like incite BLM. They do things like try to split up the country by saying that to the African American community that the whites have been holding them down. Look, the Democratic Party is the one that's held them down. Democratic Party is the ones that made the Ku Klux Klan. They fought against getting rid of Jim Crow laws. I mean, just come on. It's ridiculous. Let's see what Larry Dow says. Says, yes, they fought that Christianity in Africa before it spread to Europe. So it's white Christians' oppression that brought it here. There. Yep. I mean, yeah, you can't argue with that. Anyway, what else we got? That's all the news I had, guys. Paul, have you been following? Russ says he's restarting his internet and private chat. Okay, Russ, go. Do it. Have at it.
Oh shit, I'm trying to screenshot that. Hold on.
Do it. Freeze frame is at it again. Carry on.
Got it. Oh.
He is at a campground. But that doesn't mean anything. Okay, I'm going to type that back to him. Okay, even though he already knows, but I blasted it out to everybody, I guess. So Paul, have you been following the Nigerian thing or the?
I have not.
Yeah. So anyway, it's bad, and no one's following it because it's just not widely televised, right? So
I've been more trolling people on their attendance to these No Kings rallies, and it's I've been having my fun with that.
Exactly. Did you sing the and you talk about a cult with the No Kings thing? You talk about they say MAGA's a cult, but did you see the journalist that went in and just started asking people questions like, "Hey, what are we protesting today? What are we doing? Where are we going next?" None of them would speak to him. They said, "No, you need to talk to our advisor, our press person." I'm like, "No, what's your opinion on this subject or that subject?" And they just sat there with their masks on, just looking at them, right?
They don't want to be controlled, but listen, please talk to our handler.
That's exactly what they were saying, right? But we're the cult, right? We're the cult. Look, go talk. Oh no, look, don't talk to me. You gotta go talk to Jim Jones over there. He's the boss, right? Come on, get the fuck out of here. Russ, you're back.
I am back. The one that's funny to me is when they sit there and they have somebody ask a question. Do you believe in gay rights, and do you believe in trans rights? And yes. And what about the rights of a newborn child? Oh, and then they
I'm putting into work right now.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot of screenshots. You're right, Rev. They probably, since they are all, for the most part, paid protesters, they probably will get their benefits cut, I guess. With all, if they actually find out that most of these people are actually paid, then the job approval rating and the job statistics reports should be great for Trump this go around, because a lot of people got jobs.
I tried to have a friendly debate on social media with, I'm not going to disclose who it is, but it's somebody that we both know.
Okay.
About their attendance at this rally, and at the end of it all, I was called a white supremacist. So
that's the go-to, right?
I countered back with a picture of me and my 2 Israeli friends at the wedding I was at in Italy. And she said that doesn't count. I was like, okay, well.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
He's got a factory tent. He's got a factory tent. How am I the bad guy here?
Right. No, it's no, you're either a homophobe, an Islamophobe, or a white supremacist. That's their go-to. So I don't know. Russ, you coming back in, or you just calling the ball?
It says I'm in. I just have my camera off to try to cut down on the latency I'm having. Can you hear me all right?
We hear you just fine, sir. All right, so look, I don't have any more news. Let me look at chat real quick and see. Guys, what was your prep of the week? My prep of the week was nothing. I didn't get anything done last week. I didn't even go to Jason's meetup yesterday because I had so much to do around here. Now, Will has a prep of the year that he was showing off over there at Mountain Readiness, but Jose says he's been called a white supremacist plenty of times. Now, I don't know if you guys know Jose, but when he's eating,
I don't believe so.
No, you got to meet Jose. You know what? I told you a long time ago, Russ. Whenever you meet a mutual assistance group, there's always 2 or 3 guys that are like, those are the guys you need to keep in touch with, regardless. Jose was one of those guys. So he says he's been called a white supremacist. Now, I will say this. When Jose is eating Tootsie Rolls, he's got to be careful not to bite his own fingers off. All right. So he is definitely not a white supremacist. All right. And he's my man. I love him. But I will tell you that he is far from a white supremacist. But he's one of the guys. Jose, we got to get together before I leave and go to CanCon. I want to give you some options about some of the things now that I know your things seem to have fallen apart over there in Ocala. Classes at Fallout. So Guy says his prep of the week was taking some classes over at Fallout. There were some good classes. Patrick says his prep of the week.
There was a very good class.
Comtech ACR mounts for his fast helmet. Will says he's almost ready for the apocalypse. You need a lot of food before you're ready for the apocalypse. Let's see. Larry says he picked up a new Ranger Medic handbook, a few canisters of legal smoke grenades. CanCon is happening, Sam Witch. CanCon is happening in South Carolina in a couple of weeks. Russ, maybe you can explain that better than I can. Go ahead.
Will do. CanCon will be November 6th, 7th, and 8th in Clinton, South Carolina at the Clinton. Angry American, myself, Pete, Rush Beater, Byron Russell with Black Armor Guns, Tactical Rifleman, Wes Hightower, and Big Bob T. Big Bob Toombs, who number one, I don't know about in here watching tonight, but man, Bob, he knocked it out of the park. again this past week. So kudos to you, Bob. Oh,
Yeah, hardest working
Patrick
guy
is down
in
there
the
as well.
hardest working guy in the preparedness expo business, without a doubt. Fireman Ed said he got some MREs and some backpack meals, and Rev says he's eating expired food. Okay, Rev. Guy says he picked up a first aid stapler kit. Good. So look, preps are happening. I love it. Get to the store, buy yourself a couple of extra cans of food and all that good stuff. Paul, with that being said, sir, give us your knowledge going out of here.
Well, you know, as you guys know, I like to do a quote of the week, and I think this one applies more. I just need to hear it for myself, but I mean, it'll apply to everybody. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. So keep that in mind as you're going through the things you're going through.
And mine, of course, guys, community. That's what Bob always preaches about why he does mountain readiness. And I am 100% behind that theory. You know, guys, you got to talk to each other. We did a lot of conversating and a lot of fellowship over this past weekend, and it was wonderful. It was good for my soul. And as a reminder, it's always better to be someone's shot of whiskey than everybody's glass of tea. That's all I got, Pete.
Very good. So it looks like Will says he's did pick up some extra food also. Susan says she was testing her courage. I don't know what that means, but good job. Yeah, Paul, that was a good send off. Russ as well. Guys, I'm pretty simple. I agree with what everyone was saying. Every time I go to these events, I see the importance of community. I see the importance of camaraderie between tribe members. We may all be from different branches, but we're all on the same tree, right? Not like Patrick's bloodline, not up and down on the same tree, but we're all from the same tree. We're all spinning around the sun. So get with your community, get with your tribe, and at the end of the day, be safe. If you can't be safe, well, shit, be dangerous. Thanks for watching the Eden Army podcast. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, be safe. If you can't be safe, be dangerous.